Hey guys, welcome back to a very festive My Cupcake Addiction. Today I'm excited to be teaming up with Hallmark Gold Crown to create a DIY interactive dessert inspired by one of their keepsake ornaments. I got to choose an ornament and I chose the Hallmark keepsake ornament, the merriest house in town. Not only because it's basically a super cute gingerbread cottage, but also because it comes with this magic cord, which means it can light up on my Christmas tree and play music. If you guys want to get your own merriest house in town or any of the Hallmark keepsake ornaments, I'm going to leave a link down below where you guys can visit the Hallmark Gold Crown store where you can order anything your heart desires and receive it in time for Christmas. Or you guys can always head into a Hallmark store and pick up their decorations there. When I was getting inspired for what I was going to create today, looking at my merriest house in town, I decided to create little DIY gingerbread house stations for a gingerbread house party. But because I don't have hours and days to spend baking all of my gingerbread, I'm going to show you how to make your little DIY gingerbread houses using nothing but graham crackers, white chocolate, and a bit of candy. Actually, a lot of candy. Let's get started. First up, graham crackers. If you can't get these where you are, they're basically a long square cookie that snaps really easily. You have a couple of options. I've done similar versions to these in my cookbook with thin blocks of chocolate, which also work if you're not in a hot climate for summer, or you can use something like an ice cream wafer, which are really easy to cut. You want to start by snapping all of your grahams in half, and I'm going to make sure that my neatest, flattest edges are going to be the base of my house. I've got a little bit of melted white chocolate, so rather than making royal icing here, I've just melted some white compound chocolate, and that's going to act as our delicious glue. Take your graham crackers and you want the little perforation to be going up and down. And because I want this to look like there's actually snow on the cottage, I'm going to dip just up to this first line of, I guess, little dots or pinpricks in the graham so that I get like a little bit of an overlap of white chocolate. Dip both sides of one half of a graham cracker and both sides of another. And then onto a piece of parchment paper, you just want to sort of line those up. Now I should mention here your back wall goes on the inside edge of your side wall. So your side walls are on the outside and the back and front walls are tucked in the inside. That should balance fairly well by itself, but you can support it for a couple of seconds if you need to. And then I'm going to take another graham, dip both sides and add it onto that back wall, again on the outside so it matches the other wall. And then I'm going to take my last piece of graham and I'm going to use a sharp knife to very, very gently cut out a small door. You kind of have to do this just cutting a little at a time before popping it out, otherwise you'll crack your cracker. Once my door's popped out, I'm going to dip both of the sides of my front piece of my gingerbread cottage and I'm going to slot them in between those two side walls. Kind of looks a bit like a little bunker. Let that completely set. So you can make 10, 15 of these, however many you like. Let them all set before you do the roofs. It'll make it so much easier to attach them. Once your base is set, you want to take your remaining 2 grahams, and we have the perforations going vertical, up and down. Now we want them horizontal, so side to side for the top, because that's going to make sure that we get a really nice little overhang on all of the edges of our little cottage. For this one, I'm going to run a little bit of white chocolate, just using a small spoon across the top edge of the 2 side walls of that cottage, and then I'm going to dip just one edge of each of those roof tiles. I'm going to rest them together and I'm just going to support them for probably about 2.5 minutes, depending on how hot or cold it is where you live. This is the most challenging, difficult part. It's just a waiting game. It'll get tacky enough that you can leave it and you'll notice it's ready when it stops sliding down as soon as you take your fingers away. Once my little cottages are set, I want a little bit more of that snow detail. So I'm actually just going to use that spoon again, or you can use something like a popsicle stick, just to add on a little bit more white chocolate around the edges, the front edge and the bottom edge of that roof line. I'm going to drag down a little bit so I kind of get like that icicle effect, and that's basically it. Part of Hallmark Gold Crown's campaign this year is to care enough. So those little acts of kindness that can show another person that you actually care. Every year we buy the kids' teachers little gifts to say thanks very much for teaching them all year long and giving me a break. So this year I decided the kids are going to decorate their very own DIY kind of gingerbread houses, and we're going to pop a gift card right inside. So it's something that shows caring, it's something that shows their own creativity, and it's a gift the teacher's actually going to love. You could leave it like that, but I'm gonna add just a little apple ring on the front that kind of looks a bit like a wreath. This is like a 15-minute job max, including setting time. It is one of the easiest little gingerbread houses you'll make. So I'm gonna add those now to my display plate. I started originally with all of my candy in this big muffin tin, but I realized that's way too much candy for a 3 and a 6-year-old. So I've opted instead to put little containers onto a serving plate and give them their own little station. On each candy station, we have a finished candy house, some Christmassy sprinkles, some assorted Christmassy candy and candy canes, and then a little tiny pot of melted white chocolate and a couple of either lollipop or popsicle sticks. So if you want some decorating inspiration, I actually took that little apple ring and added a few little holly leaf and berry sprinkles with white chocolate. And then I'm going to add a couple of candy canes to the top roof line and some Tic Tacs just running down the middle to kind of cover that seam. To make my roof tiles, I'm going to lay on layers of Christmas themed candy corn, and then I'm going to finish it off at the front with a little mini candy cane. But this video is not about how I decorate my gingerbread house. This video is about how everyone gets to get creative and uniquely decorate their own. So let's see what the kids come up with. I feel like it's going to be amazing, and I'm not allowed to step in and even help them plan creative. All right, boys, get ready. Take your lollipop sticks, dip them in some white chocolate, and decorate. So the boys' gingerbread houses turned out way better than I thought. With a little handmade card, a beautiful edible handmade gift box, and a gift voucher that their teachers are going to truly love, I know that everyone's going to know that my boys cared enough to go the extra mile this Christmas. A huge thanks to Hallmark Gold Crown for teaming up with me on today's video. If you want to get the merriest house in town, as well as hundreds of other amazing Hallmark keepsake ornaments, you can either visit a Hallmark store or you can head to the Hallmark Gold Crown store online, which I'll leave a link to down below. Have an awesome day, you guys, and thanks very much for watching.
Tiny house for a tiny person.
Like for a you person?
I'm a big person.
Oh, sorry, I was confused. Kinda hard not to feel festive.